This was the place where some of the most valuable diamonds of all time ever discovered were kept. They were stored here, priceless gems. And today, as you can see, it's not what it once was. Its temporal nature is a reminder of our own existence, how we aren't given forever. We don't have all of time here on earth. If there's something that we all know for a fact, is that there is an expiration date. We may not know that date, but it's a given that it's coming. So my question is, how do we live today? How do we make the most of life looking through the lens of understanding that we all are temporary? We all have bodies that will perish, yet there's a part of us that will live on forever. In order to discover more of what life is, I think it's helpful to use metaphors and pictures and stories to understand what life is like. It can be so complex trying to break down and understand the entirety of life with all of the layers, as we are spirit, soul, body. Unseen Verses at its core is a quest to explore reality, to beg the questions that lead to meaning, that lead to purpose. You see, I believe that the world around us that we're able to observe through our physical senses is real, yet it's not the only reality. It's a temporal reality, if you will. In 2 Corinthians, Paul writes, "Therefore we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary or passing away, but what is unseen is eternal." Unseen Verses is based on this idea that not everything that is real is visible, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. See, the wind is all around us. It's blowing right now. Yeah, I can't see it, but it's real. See, there are molecules, there are atoms comprising everything that we can see around us, yet there's so much more than what meets the eye. If what Christians believe is true, we have a spirit. Our spirit is eternal. It lives inside of us. It makes up our core existence, who we really are in our soul. It's this essence of what makes us uniquely us. You see, each of us have about 99.9% of the same DNA makeup. There's so much similarities across all of humanity, regardless of skin tone, regardless of race. Yet that 0.1%, that uniqueness, that's what makes us individually us. And that which is unique is valuable. In the same way that the diamonds that were stored here years ago were valuable, it was because there was something unique about them. There was something priceless about them that was rare, and that rareness gave it such a unique value. In the same way, God gives us a unique value because we are intrinsically distinct. We each carry an aspect of His image, an aspect of who He is, that represents a part of Him, a aspect of who He is that is unique to us as individuals, but that showcases a little bit more of a glimpse of who He is. I do believe that whatever it is that we've experienced in life, it can serve as a lesson, it can serve as instruction for us. Yet we have so much to glean from those who have gone before. When it comes to measuring greatness, when it comes to measuring success, are we simply looking at those things which will pass away? Or are we measuring our life to that which is eternal, that which lives on beyond all of this? Matthew 6:19 through 21 says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." What a profound statement. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I am 31 years old, and I've traveled the world. I've been to over 30 countries. I've experienced many cultures. I've experienced many tastes and flavors and met many people along the way. And yet, there's something unique about each individual that I've come across. There's something common amongst us all in our shared humanity, yet there's something unique. That uniqueness, that essence is what comprises our soul, our spirit. It's more than our mind and the thoughts that we think. It's more than our unique DNA or genetic code. It's who we are, who we've been created to be, as I do believe. See, purpose is only ever found in the mind of the Creator. Why is that? Well, if you were to take a baseball bat to a cannibalistic tribe and give them that bat and did not explain to them the sport of baseball, how do you think they may use that bat? It would be shaped perfectly. It would have all of the ergonomics to swing through the air and hit a baseball for maximum impact. Yet, these cannibals, I do not believe would use it to play baseball. They would probably use it for something a little bit more violent, right? So the purpose would be missing in how it was being used. Well, that begs the question, what of the Creator who made this baseball bat, who wanted to create the perfect weapon of impact, right? Not to be used against humans, but to be used against a ball, to drive it through the air, to create a sense of excitement around a sport. Now, that purpose would be lost to those who do not have the understanding of what was in the Creator's mind. In the same way, we have all been created. I don't believe that we're just an accident. I don't believe that we just came out of a random explosion. I truly believe that we were created and that there was so much intentionality and purpose in how we are created and why we are created. But to understand that purpose, one must go to the Creator to ask the questions of, why am I here? What is the point of all of this? What is history? What does my story mean? And it's kind of a cheesy way to think of it, but the word history, right? His story. I do believe that we're living in a story that we each have a part to play, yet it's not our story because we didn't come first. There was those who came before us, and, God allowing, there will be those who come after us, yet we are part of a story that each of us get to play a part in. Now, what happens when there's autonomy given, when there's freedom given to individuals, but they walk around life not knowing what their purpose is, not knowing what their original intent was to be? Well, I would say abuse is inevitable. When you don't know the purpose of something, like a baseball bat, well, it tends to get used for things that it was never intended for, that it wasn't created for. In the same way, so much pain, so much suffering in the world, it doesn't take a lot. Just driving down the street, whether it's homelessness, whether it's hunger, whether it's limited access to clean water, whether it's human trafficking, the tragedies in our world are enormous. They're heartbreaking. And it begs the question, why is that the case? Why are there so many people who are suffering? Well, we know that there's enough resources on the planet for everyone to be able to eat. But then there's issues like greed. There's issues like fear, people feeling like they're not going to have enough, so taking more than their share, or not caring about those around them, or maybe how they climb the corporate ladder to get to the top, or how their actions impact others. See, I fundamentally believe that the results of how people are living their lives today in many ways points to a lack of understanding purpose, understanding original intent. See, if we were all created for an original intent with specific purpose, but we're unaware of that purpose, it's inevitable. We are going to live our life in a manner that is simply pleasing to self. We're going to pursue our own ambitions. We're going to pursue what we think it is that we want, or what we think it is that will make us happy, only to maybe get there if we're successful and find that maybe we're just as empty as we were before we started. See, fulfillment comes from understanding and living out one's purpose. See, I believe that I'm on the planet to help people understand who God is, to teach the world a little bit more about Him, His beauty, His essence, His majesty. What does that mean? Well, it means that I have the most fulfillment. I experience the most joy when I'm helping people come to understand the one who I've been learning with, the one who I've been walking with for so many years now. And it's a joy for me to share what I've discovered, because what I've discovered is so much better than I anticipated. What I've discovered is the beauty, the kindness, and the love of God. Not only has my life been completely transformed, have my sins been forgiven, am I able to walk in communion with the Holy Father, I am able to experience the life that He created me for, because I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in fulfillment of what He's made for me. That doesn't mean that I don't get sick sometimes. That doesn't mean that I don't have rough days. I mean, just last night I was up till 1 a.m. and feeling sick and wondering how I'm going to be able to come out today and record this thought. Yet I'm here and I feel so much joy. I feel so much excitement to be able to share what it is that I'm learning, what it is of the journey that I'm on. I don't have all the answers. I'll be upfront with you right now and say I don't have it all figured out. Yet there's a few things that I've grasped so far that have radically improved my way of life, that have radically improved my sense of purpose and destiny in simply understanding what is the point of it all? What's the meaning of it? Why this temporal existence if I'm simply to be born from dust and return to dust, and that's all there is to it? See, I don't think that that's the case. I think that there's so much more. Just look around you, the world you created. There's so much to it. There's so much complexity in an atom, in science, in the galaxies and the stars above. Wherever you turn, wherever you look, there's something astounding that all points to purpose, that all points to intentionality, that all points to there being a creator who made this for our enjoyment, who made us for His pleasure, not because He needed us, but because He desired relationship, in the same way that the most profound thing that you and I may experience this side of eternity outside of God is the relationships we have with our family members, with our dads, with our moms, with our brothers, with our sisters, with our friends, with our own kids. See, in the same way that family is so core to who we are as humans, I believe that family is the core of God's makeup. Family is the core of His existence as we know Him. Father, Spirit, Son, right? 3 in 1, the Trinity as it's been defined. That is a beautiful picture of community. It's a beautiful picture of relationship, of not doing it alone. One of the most heartbreaking things in the entire planet is those who are walking through life alone, those who don't have community, who don't have connection. Yet, how much better does life become, regardless what you face, when you're doing it with someone, when you're doing it in community? See, we were created to do life in community, but not just with our family, not just with our friends, with the one who created it all. The one who made your heart to beat, the one who formed you, who saw you in your mother's womb, who created you intricately, you. See, there's something so precious about human life. There's something so precious about this existence that we've been given. It's fragile. It doesn't take a lot for us to be here and then be gone. Yet, while we're here, it's almost more sad that so many people don't know why they're here. See, there's that famous quote that says, the 2 most important days in your life is the day that you're born and the day that you discover why. And there's so much truth to that. What is the point of walking through life, of chasing the things that the world places value on, simply to lose it all, simply for moth to corrode, for it to fall down like the heap of rocks behind me? See, I want us to be able to live for something eternal, for something that's going to last forever. See, I believe that eternity has been placed in the hearts of men, which means that you and I have this sense of there's more. There's more to my mere existence. There's more to this life than simply what meets the eye. There has to be more. We have that wiring. We have that hunger within us. And C.S. Lewis talked about it like this. He said, just because someone experiences hunger does not mean that food exists. But if anything else that we know in this life is true, it's a pretty good indicator that it does. desire can lead to satisfaction. In the same way that we have this desire to learn, this desire to grow, this desire to make a difference, to live a life of greatness, we have desire because I do believe that there can be fulfillment. There is a food that will feed the soul, but it's not maybe what you expect it to be. It may look a little different than what you've been told it is. And so the hope of this is that we would be able to go a little deeper, that we would ask the questions that matter, that we would have the conversations, that we would pause long enough to think about our temporary existence and say, hey, if this isn't random, if this isn't by chance or coincidence, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is unseen that lasts forever? How can I order my life today in a way that makes a true, lasting change and impact? It's a beautiful thought. And it's my hope that you'll stick around long enough with me to go on this journey, to go on this adventure. I don't know where this leads, but I hope it leads to purpose. I hope it leads to joy, because I've found that. I've found so much joy. I found so much hope. I found so much purpose on my own journey that it would be disingenuous of me not to invite you along, not to share everything that I've been experiencing and learning, because the reality is life is too short to live it not knowing what your purpose is, not knowing why you're here. So would you please consider joining me in coming back and subscribing and looking at this as simply a quest for meaning, a quest to understand that which is invisible.